This is The Instigators, presented by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. Nothing else comes close.
We are going to overtime.
That means at the very least we picked up a single point along the way through 60 minutes of play, Marty. Hey, we're back for another episode. This is great.
This is awesome. And Duffer, I like the analogy of a single point along the way. It was always like in my goal, at least I'm not going to get a loss, right? Like it's not going to be in the loss column. Like it doesn't matter what happens now. I'm not taking a loss.
That's why I love being around the positive people that are always stressing, and especially nowadays, like just, win the little moments, and every time I think, well, if I can at least get a point out of this little moment, we're going to be in better shape as the day goes along. Hey, the Sabres are obviously turning over and, trying to think of what they want and where they will ultimately be, and to have a local presence now amidst their mix, albeit still a little bit of time away based on healing from his offseason surgery. Alex Tuch is going to join us here in moments.
Yeah, and I really like Alex, number one, as a player. I always thought he was a big forward, power forward, strong. He can fly. He can, really take the puck to the net. So he has skills. I loved him as a player. And then I got to meet him. So a few years back, he played with a group of Sabres alumni and whatnot with Pat Coletta in the 11-day power play. So I got to hang out with him for 4 or 5 hours or whatnot. And he's just a fantastic person. So I'm so happy that now he gets to come here in Buffalo. He loves the fact that he'll be a Buffalo Sabre, represent the Western New York, Central New York area. And so very excited for him to come over.
Are you nervous at all that he's going to demand that we take him out for dinner now after he and his family did for us in Vegas?
Well, maybe we should ask him. And you know what? We did not know that night that we went to dinner with Alex Tuch is that the next morning he was signing his big contract. So maybe we should have had a couple of bottles of wine on top of it.
I love the fact that you brought up the 11-day power play. It's going to be a theme woven through this episode of Instigators Overtime, presented by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. Nothing else comes close. It's time for Alex Tuch. Alex, this is the big transition time for you as you literally and physically move from Vegas to Buffalo. How's that process going?
It's a long process, honestly. Yeah. When it happened, I got the call Wednesday night. The news came out Thursday. I hopped on a flight actually Friday to go out and meet the team and meet the coaching staff and everything like that, which I actually saw a lot of familiar faces. But because of my injury, I'm able to not have to rush into meeting the guys on the road or flying in and playing the same day. So I get to take a little bit more time. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. It's for my family and I, and we're just packing up our house right now. I took a couple minutes to talk to you guys, and we'll be back in Buffalo in a few days.
So you said you got a call on Wednesday night and the news broke on Thursday morning, but did you have any other conversation before that? Did you talk to somebody in Vegas or Buffalo on Tuesday, on Monday, the week before? I guess that's the question. Did you talk to anybody before that?
No, I didn't. I was talking to my agent a little bit because the news came out almost 2 weeks ago now that things were heating up with Eichel in Vegas. And I had a feeling that if we were making a trade with Buffalo, that I could potentially go the other way. So I called my agent. He's like, I haven't heard anything. And he started reaching out to people, and he was like, I don't think you're involved. That's not what anyone's heard. So I was like, okay. Then the next week comes, and it got really quiet. And then I got a text from Kelly McCrimmon, hey, Tucky, please call me. And I pretty much knew right there.
Yeah.
I knew. I was like, okay. So I called him. We had about a 20-minute phone conversation, and it was a good conversation. It was obviously a tough one. But I said it before, I'll say it again. I owe him and a lot of people in Vegas a lot, honestly, for my career, what they did for myself and my family. But it was time to, I guess, turn a new page and my hockey career. And so after I got off the phone with him, I obviously talked to my girlfriend. We lived together, and then I called my parents, and I called my agent. And then I got a call from Kevin Adams about an hour after I talked to Kevin McCrimmon. And just to hear how excited he was made me feel really special. It made it a lot easier on me mentally, because honestly, if you've ever been traded, it's a business, and it is tough though, especially if you've been in a place for almost 5 years now. So it was really tough at first, but he made it a lot easier. And the support that I've had from the organization, the players in Buffalo, and the fans have been unbelievable. So it's made it a lot easier, and it's gotten my excitement level up even higher than it was initially.
I'll tell you this, though. I did get traded from Buffalo to Philly. I wasn't even playing. I was the backup to Ryan Miller, right? So I know my contract was expiring, and I was going to be going somewhere else in the summertime as a free agent, and it's trade deadline, and I get traded to Philly. And even though I was excited to go to Philadelphia because I was going to get a new role, I was going to be a number one goalie again. When I got home, and obviously my wife's family at the time was all there, and my mother-in-law was crying. Like, she was like, like we were leaving, right? So it's hard. It's not easy to go through a trade, even though I was so excited. I could not wait to get to Philadelphia. It's hard. So is that the same thing for you, or with your family in Syracuse, and well, he's coming home, like, woohoo, this is great?
Well, yeah, I mean, they love Vegas, and my girlfriend loved Vegas. We've been living together for a year now, and she started really putting down roots here, and she had a lot of friends on the team and stuff like that. So it was really tough for her. And my family, it was mixed emotions for sure. They loved Vegas, they really did. And but like I said, it's part of the business. But they were coming home pretty much to play for the Buffalo Sabres, who I grew up as my favorite team. Yeah, Marty, I was watching you during those years. I definitely was. And you weren't playing as much behind Ryan Miller. But,
yeah, exactly. Although when he needed a break, I was right there to fill in. So that was good.
Oh yeah, and you did well. You did well. You put up some good numbers for sure. But
oh yeah. Here you go. Spit those numbers out if you have them, Tucky.
I don't think I have those. I wasn't watching goalies too much. But no, I mean, they're super excited, and I have a lot of friends and family in obviously Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo area, all around upstate New York and Western New York. So they're very excited. I don't even know how many texts I got, just with pure joy and like congratulations and welcome home and a lot of stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun.
The honesty you shared a minute ago about when it was maybe 2 weeks away from happening is really interesting to me. The fact that you instinctively connect the dots, like, geez, Buffalo and Vegas are talking, like there's a good chance I'm a part of this. I'm really surprised that you might have drifted away from that thinking at any point, Alex, because for most of us, I think if it was Buffalo Vegas, like it was always going to have you in it. Were you ever like that 100% confident that, and again, there's emotions involved in it for you, but to me, like, this deal was never going to happen unless you were a part of it.
I mean, I had no idea. Like, I obviously I'm not in the rooms with the GMs and on those phone calls. So I couldn't tell you, like, I mean, honestly, I've always really tried to not worry about things that are out of your control. So yeah, you hear the rumors, and I'm on Twitter, so I get tweeted out a bunch of stuff and all these things. But there was also other rumors out there with other players and other teams. So I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen. If it happens, you know what? It's going to be, like I said, it's another page. Honestly, I think it's going to be really great for my career. And I think, and I know that I'm going to really love it.
I know you're going to love it, but let me go back to when you signed your contract, right? And if Kev Friendly is right, it was on October the 19th, 2018. So October 18th, 2019, the Sabres played in Vegas. And after the game, Duffer and I were kind of wandering around. I was texting you like, hey, where should we go for dinner? And your dad and a bunch of buddies were all there. And we didn't know that, but you were almost celebrating your new contract at the time. Are you, and then you played really well that whole year. So my long way to ask a question is, are you a good player under pressure? Because I felt like you started that season so good, knowing that, hey, I'm trying to negotiate my contract, and you played so well that year, knowing you had the pressure of the contract, and now you're coming into Buffalo, and it's going to be some pressure on you to perform. Obviously, you're in that big trade. So are you a guy that plays well under pressure?
I feel like I am, and I can be, and I want to continue to get better. But honestly, I already signed my contract extension before that season.
Did you really? Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So I came in. I was actually injured to start the season.
Yeah.
And while during my injury, George McPhee brought me into his office and offered me a contract extension, and we negotiated for about a week. And I ended up signing that deal before I even came back and played. But I honestly don't think my game really changes, pressure or not. Throughout the whole year, whether it's the first game of the season or playoffs, I think that I play the same way, no matter what. So that's something that I take great pride in, is my consistency and coming in with a really hard work ethic, day in and day out.
I thought he was going to say, now we owe him dinner because he took care of the bill that night. So we probably owe you now.
Actually, you owe my dad dinner.
Oh,
he put it on the company card. Don't tell anybody.
Okay, good. It's a tax write-off. I'll do the same.
Well, since we're not telling anybody, what company is it? No.
Yeah, right. No.
Honestly, like that was such a fun experience for us, and we're very grateful. And you just talked about being under pressure and dealing with it well. Your playoffs and the numbers you post in the playoffs speak for themselves. I'm wondering what age was Alex Tuch when he started embracing those pressure moments, with your travel team and the tournaments you went to and things like that. Like, I think most of us have those memories as a kid because they're so vivid and so fun with our friends, where you had like this incredible moment. Do you remember? You have any of those?
I mean, I enjoyed all of them, honestly. I just love playing hockey. I love playing hockey. I love scoring goals, and I love winning. I think I actually grew up on a team that really didn't win much. But I went to the US program and we won the U18 World Championships. I went to Boston College. We made it to the Frozen Four. We were pretty disappointed my sophomore year before I left. And then my time in Vegas was a lot of playoff games, and there is a lot of pressure, but you know what? It's a lot of fun. And I think playoff hockey really fits my style of play. And that's what I want to bring, not only the playoffs, but the regular season here in Buffalo. And honestly, there wasn't probably one moment, but I really just enjoyed all of it.
So I go back to was it 4 years ago, possibly, when we played together during the 11-day power play, and we did that one shift at the end where we played against the top fundraising teams. And I didn't really know you. And I was, number one, impressed with your size and your speed, but also your ability to just be yourself around many different types of people and people wanting your autograph. And how do you handle, being now in a place where you're going to have a lot of family members come in asking for tickets, fans, wanting autograph when you go to the grocery store? That's completely different than when you were in Vegas, in a much bigger environment, if you could say.
Yeah. It is going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot of people that I know, a lot of small connections. I think I went to dinner and someone came up and they're like, "Oh, I lived in the same street as you in Syracuse." And I'm like, it's crazy. It's a small world. It really is. But honestly, my dad says it all the time, but I really take it to heart. And I wouldn't be where I am today without all the support that I had from people back home and that have helped me throughout my hockey career. And and also like for like the little kids and stuff like that. Like I remember what it was like to meet like I met like Mario Lemieux or Claude Lemieux or even Marty Biron or something like that. It was really special to me. And if they took the time, and I had a lot of really good experiences with this, when they took the time, it meant the world to me. Just getting one autograph or even a picture if I didn't have anything to get signed and stuff. So I really make sure that I always stop. I always say yes. And if I do say no, and it's for a really good reason, it's not because I don't want to, it's because I am in a rush and stuff like that, or I can't do it for COVID protocols or stuff like that. But I do want to take the time. I do want to interact with as many people and fans as possible, because honestly, I think that I really want to connect with the entire community. And I right away, I want to, don't tell anyone, but I might make a secret appearance somewhere this weekend, and I've already been working on that. But
don't tell anyone, but it's going to be out for everyone to know. So
yeah, well, no, we'll see. But like obviously we can't do anything with the team with COVID and stuff like that. But I want to get as involved in the community as possible. I have my own foundation that I want to bring out to Buffalo, and it's already in Syracuse, and it was in Vegas. And obviously with the move, I want to bring it to Buffalo. But
yep.
I want to really interact with the fans as much as possible, and make Buffalo my home as well.
Oh my gosh, he's like Marty. I think you're the master of the segue as we work together. But like Alex, if you want to join us on set here for the next 6 weeks while you're rehabbing, like, please.
And Duffer will buy a sweatshirt from your foundation, because that's all he gets. He gets sweatshirts of everything. Nice hoodie.
Yeah, I'm big into the hoodies right now. But honestly, so you just threw out a whole bunch of things that we need to follow up on. First of all, the 11-day power play starts on Sunday. I want to know why and how you ended up on the ice in it a couple years ago.
So actually, your predecessor, Andrew Peters, coached my little brother back when he played for the Buffalo Junior Sabres.
Yeah.
And so I went and visited my little brother and stayed at Petey's house, and he was really great. And then one day he reached out and was like, hey, like, do you mind driving up to Buffalo, doing this 11-day power play? And at that point, I had met like Patrick Coletta, Matt Ellis, guys like that already. And I was skating and training a little bit at the Harbor Center, especially with my little brother. And I was like, yeah, I would love to. Like, drove up, tossed the gear on, had an unbelievable experience. They do a great job there. They raise a ton of money. It's just awesome. And Guinness Book of World Records, and it's really cool. So to be a part of that was honestly really cool. And I think I actually might have my jersey somewhere back in my parents' house, but I'll have to do some digging. They have a lot of memorabilia, but I'm sure that's somewhere around.
Okay, so then that's an easy connection, so to speak. But we all know that cancer hits everyone, and that's why there's such support in this event, but in so many events. And here we are in Hockey Fights Cancer Month across the NHL. Tell us about your foundation, what its origins are, and why. Like, I mean, Alex, there's a real nice excitement in your voice when talking about coming back here and wanting to further your foundation's efforts. Let's learn a little about it.
Yeah, so it's called the AT9 Foundation. So when you say AT9, it sounds like 89. Clever play on words. I didn't come up with it. I'm not that clever, but yeah, so we started out a few years ago, and we really needed somewhat of a logo and something, because we had this idea of, hey, let's do a hockey camp that directly goes to charity, and let's toss in a 3-on-3 tournament right in the middle. So 3-on-3 game for like an actual pro game. So there was guys like Andrew Peters, Tom Sestito, and then like younger guys like myself, Joel Farabee, and stuff like that. So we did like a 3-on-3 game, and I think throughout the whole week and 3-on-3 game, we raised $50,000. It was an unbelievable day and week, and a lot of people came out to support, and it was people like that I'm really grateful for. And a lot of them are Buffalo Sabres fans. We're very happy I'm coming back. But for the foundation, we came up before it. We're like, okay, we need a logo. We need some sort of branding. And so a friend of mine came up with the AT9 and had the logo and everything like that. And so we just continued to, okay, now let's make it legitimate. So a couple of years ago, we became a 501c3. We've been doing small events here and there, we're not really, we're still trying to make, I guess, come out on social media and really, I guess, dig our heels in and make it legitimate. And I've had some partnerships with people in Vegas and also a partnership with Cogliano's Children's Hospital back in Syracuse, but our main focus is pediatric cancer and special needs. So those are the two focuses that we have for my foundation. And honestly, it's been something that I've really cared about and something that I've really been passionate about. So I thought, why not raise money and support charities and foundations that are underfunded. I really think that that I have the ability to raise a lot of money and use that and almost like a feeder program to, like I said, help those underfunded, underprivileged programs that are doing a really good job, that are having an immediate impact, because I want to try to affect as much as I can. But there are a lot of programs out there that might not be as big or might need some help here or there that do a good job. But so yeah.
Well, you know that Buffalo is going to eat it up and support the AT9 Foundation, because you look back, Ryan Miller, what was it, the Steadfast Foundation, I think, where Duffer was. So Millsy's foundation, he did Catwalk for Charity, did so many events, and people came out in big numbers. Bogo Bunch, Zach Bogosian, he had his thing, and it was, events were sold out all the time. So I'm excited you're bringing AT9 to Buffalo, because I know I'll be a part of it. Whatever you need me to do, I'll dress up and do whatever you want. But, you know, the fan base here absolutely loves to connect with players, not just as a Buffalo Sabres and the number 89, but the person and much more. So this is going to be great. So, yeah. And you are passionate about it. We can tell. That's awesome.
Alex, why pediatric cancer and special needs?
So I'll start with special needs. I was really close to my lacrosse coach when I was playing lacrosse back in high school, and he was the special needs gym teacher, and so I would help him out a lot, and that was one thing. And then I went to high school in Michigan, and I was a part of this class that there was like that it was like the special needs gym class, and there was like 8 of us high functioning individuals would go in, and we would walk with them, play sports with them, and just to see how everything in the world is going against these kids, and to see them walking with a smile on their face each and every day just was like, how inspirational can that be? And so that was something that I was like, wow, this is unbelievable, and something that I wanted to be a part of and going forward. And then with the pediatric cancer, I mean, how can it get any worse than that? I mean, you see these kids who are absolute fighters and just, you know what, want to honestly just live a normal life, and they can't do that. And it really makes you think about your life and makes you not take anything for granted. And just to be able to help kids like that out, and those kids too come in with a huge smile on their face. And when we did that charity game, we partnered up with Maureen's Hope in Syracuse, and they do beads. So every time the kid gets their blood drawn, or every time the kid gets chemo or anything like that, they do these beads. And I walked into the room, and the kid had 256 beads. He was 11 years old. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, this is insane. Like, how does a kid, let alone anyone, go through all that radiation, chemo, blood drawn, all these tests, everything? And it was just like, he was an inspiration to me. And right away, like, he was such a great kid. He dropped the puck of the game, and it was amazing. So.
Wow. Just like, I mean, yeah, an inspiration to many, but your passion for it is an inspiration that should be for all athletes, because they're not all the same, and they don't all approach it the same, but you approach it with passion, and it shows. And that's amazing. I don't know how much time we still have, Duffer, so I don't know if you want me to jump into this or that. Or...
I hear we got time for this or that.
Okay, good. So this or that. I listen, you were really hard to come up with this or that, Alex.
Really?
I don't know why, but so I guess we'll start with one that is a no-brainer. So 89, the number 89. You spoke about it when you had your press conference. Obviously, Alexander Mogilny had the number 89. But there's also a good friend of ours in the Pagula Sports and Entertainment family that wore the number 89, and his name's Steve Tasker. And Steve Tasker could be an Hall of Famer as well. So I'm asking you this. Who wore it better, Alexander Mogilny or Steve Tasker? This or that? Alex Tuch, you're on deck.
Oh, wow. It is. Man, how do you do that to me right now? How do I?
That's the first one. The other ones are easy.
Oh. Wow. So you say if Tasker's going to be in the Hall of Fame, you gotta say Tasker.
Well,
if
you know what?
be...
He's not yet, but I think he should be. So should Mogilny, really. So they should both be Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It really is. It's really tough. I don't know if I can pick.
Listen, I also know that Tasker will be at Sabres game and probably get a Tuch 89 jersey to walk around. So if I'm you, I say Tasker.
I say Tasker then. We're going to go with Tasker.
Okay, good.
I'm going with Tasker as well for kind of that very reason, Marty. I'm going to see Tasker a lot more than I'm going to see Mogilny. And I have made it a point to stress that the Sabres who have not yet made it into the Hall of Fame, Rick Martin's at the top of my list. So I'm going to keep the focus there. And someday if Alex gets there, Mogilny, that is, and then hopefully you too as well, Alex, I'll be happy. But yes, Tasker's good. So.
Okay. Another this or that. And Duffer, you may answer this or that as well, but this really pertains to Alex. I've seen you pictures, social media, you driving the sports car, but you're a big man. Like, number one, how do you fit in those Lamborghini and Ferraris or whatever you're driving around? So sports car or big SUV, like this or that, what do you prefer? Or what do you prefer? Sports car or SUV?
Well, I mean, that's a big, you can't pick one or the other. So I drive, I like driving around the SUVs like on an everyday basis.
Okay.
Because like you said, I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6'4". So to squat down in those cars every single day, I had one for the past 2 years, but it was, so I gotta go with SUV probably, but I like driving those sports cars once in a while. It gets your adrenaline going, and us athletes, we're all adrenaline junkies.
You're right. Duffer,
closest thing I had to the Lamborghini. The closest thing I had was a Lamborghini poster in my bedroom growing up, and so let's go with the big SUV. Although when I had the big Dodge Ram crew cab, I got nothing but ridicule from Razor, which of course won't surprise you. He just didn't think I was a fit in the big truck. So.
Well, Razor, he drove his Ford Taurus forever. So let's leave him be. Now, another thing I want to know is why all these big guys like driving these sports cars. Like, you remember Donald Brashear? He had the Lambo. He could barely get in the darn thing. Like, getting in and out was so hard. Like, why? Get a nice, like a sedan or something that can go fast. Like, come on with the sports car here, Tucky.
I tried to fit in the Lamborghini, and my eye line was right where the windshield is, and I'm like, I can't drive this.
So your head's sticking out through the convertible?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that would not be a good look.
No.
Okay, how about this? What's more exciting to score? A unbelievable highlight goal, like pretty goal, you go through everybody behind your back and in, or a big goal, like playoff goal, but that's not. So what's more exciting? This or that? Playoff goal?
Playoff goal.
Okay.
100%. Through and through playoff goal. Not even close.
Do you remember one that you scored that you're like, I remember that playoff goal, or kids tournament goal or something that was major for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think in that first run with Vegas, I mean, anytime anyone scored or I had a goal, it was my first playoff experience. I remember I had 2 goals in the one San Jose game, and that game was one of the most fun games ever. But even we played Winnipeg, it was game 5, and I had our first goal of the game, and we were freaking out because that was what I scored and then Ryan Reese scored, and it wasn't even a nice goal. It was I spun around, threw it on net, and it went in, and then Ryan Reese scored, and then we were in the Stanley Cup Finals, and it was this is crazy.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Duffer, are you a pretty goal type of guy or important goal type of guy? This or that?
I'd take the empty netter in a playoff game. Seriously.
I think the empty
that means you're
netter.
that much closer to victory, baby.
I tell you all the time how I wanted to score a goal so bad as a goalie. So I'd take any empty netter in any game for a goalie. But yeah, okay. And last but not least, somehow I don't know why I thought of this, but you're moving obviously from Vegas to Buffalo. You got a lot of things to pack, and it made me think of pets. Right? Like, oh, all of a sudden you got to, pack up your pets and go. So are you a cat guy or a dog person, this or that? And if you have any pets, how hard is that going to be to travel with them?
It won't be that hard. Teddy, come here. Teddy. Let's see if he comes. I got a dog. So I got a golden retriever.
Oh, geez, I was convinced it was a cat.
No. Teddy. He's sleeping.
No.
I wish I could show you guys, but he was actually, I don't mean to brag. I'm going to be a proud dad right now. He was NHL Dog of the Year last year.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Last year's NHL Dog of the Year.
I didn't know there was that award.
He's a golden retriever. He's a smaller golden retriever, but it was it was something else. You want me to go grab him quick? He's right there.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. This is where Marty, you and I, have the opportunity to fill, which we do every single night on the air. And B, the payoff's going to be worth it because I've seen pics of this little baby and Teddy is awesome. So, and as a former golden owner myself, I can never get enough goldens. So.
Oh my goodness, Teddy.
Teddy Bear Talk.
Does Teddy like the snow?
He's never been in snow before.
Oh, you got to get a
really
video
excited.
the first time.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking Teddy and Rick. Marty, you think that's
the new Sabres dog, Rick? That's awesome. Yeah, those two will be best buddies.
Definitely will be.
Well, Duffer, are you a cat or dog person?
Dog all the way.
Dog
100 out of 100. No disrespect to cats.
I'll be honest with you. Like, it's funny. I'm a dog person, but I'm a small dog person. Like my little dog, who's 11 years old. She's a little toy poodle. She's like an ankle biter and she's with me all the time. Like I take her on the car ride.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We're ending it on that note.
Okay. Well, thank you.
On that note. And
all right,
honestly,
see you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, Alex, we can't thank you enough for what comes from your heart and how we're going to see that and your talents on display here very soon. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Marty, I'll put you on the spot. As Alex has mentioned, he's going to be the second Alex to wear 89 here in Buffalo. The first was Alexander the Great. Dare we come up with a nickname for him?
Okay, so the Great for Mogilny. Alexander the Beast. How about that one? I feel like Tuch could be that beast on the ice. He's got the big beard and he's driving hard to the net. So Alexander the Beast would work for me.
I think we can live with that. And we've certainly come to love and live with and anticipate just the reimagination year in, year out of a fundraising initiative from Mike and Amy Lesikowski that is known as the 11-day power play, but it just keeps growing and it just keeps getting better. How do these incredible people do it? And how excited are you for this event once again?
I am so excited to be able to, during the hockey season, after a Sabres game, go down to RiverWorks and cheer on the 40 players that are taking in this year's 11-day power play for another world record. And also there's going to be games on the other ice pad as well. So there's going to be a ton of people there. I'm so looking forward to it.
Well, the money that's raised is obviously significant and incredibly important, but the effort that is put forth by everybody involved in this is truly inspiring. So we continue here. Instigators Overtime, brought to you by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. Nothing else comes close. And now we have this incredible opportunity to welcome in some members of this year's 11-day power play Frozen 40. Marty, I think it's only fitting we start with age before beauty, because in essence, that's how we start every pregame show, because I talk before you do. And the veteran of this group of 11-day power players is, well, first of all, it's incredible the determination and commitment he has shown to this event. Andrew Case is with us, and he was an original member in this event 5 years ago. Andrew, how are you?
I'm good, Duffer. Good to see you, and good to see Marty. Love the show. I just got to give you that plug right off the top.
Well, I appreciate the plug right off the top. But let me ask you this. Are you more scared or I don't want to say scared, but looking ahead at the 11 days that is coming up, is there a different feeling than the last one? Because now you know how hard it's going to be these whole 11 days.
Yeah, a little bit, but experience really sets you up. So I feel confident. I feel this Frozen 40 crew, we're going to be great. We're going to take care of each other. The elements at RiverWorks, I wouldn't have it any other way. This is right on the Buffalo River. Love that dirty water. We're going to be good. We're going to be real good.
Give us a quick rundown of the previous years, like a really short version of each one and how they were different leading up to this week.
Well, we had an opportunity to get on the ice, be among each other for 6 hours, and then we have another 3-hour, workout. And I think the fundraising events, I mean, they've been enormous. So people have gotten the chance to meet each other and come together and really get psyched and amped up to take this on. So I think all that involved is just really giving us the proper charge to knock this out.
So, but the last time, it was the original one was at Harbor Center, Lecom Harbor Center. It was indoor. You guys had a little area in the parking ramp you could go to get some fresh air. Now, this one is outdoors, and it's going to be very much a different setting. Even sleeping and getting your walks in and your rest and your rehab and whatnot. So how does that affect your preparation, knowing that the elements could play a big part of it?
Well, it's funny you say that, Marty, because during the 2017 event where we had that little space outside on the ramp, it was horrible weather. It was garbage. So we really couldn't even enjoy that. So I think, even some of us who went outside where we realized like, okay, this is a little rough out here. That set us up for this event. So, we're rustic. We'll be fine. I think that as long as we focus on getting good sleep and hydrating and stretching, I think we'll be fine. Those of us who've done it will surely let people know, what to expect, how to deal with this challenge or that challenge. Most importantly, and I said this before, we just got to make sure all of us are laughing with each other and keeping our spirit up. Positivity is key for this whole thing.
As it is when you're in the fight, Andrew, you know that personally, and you know it from those around you who you continue to fight for. Can you give us a little overview of what you've dealt with when it comes to cancer and how it's affected your life?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've lost over 20 people to cancer, including a dad, a stepdad, neighbors, parents of good friends, musicians in the music community, people at work, students. It's been unfortunately, an enormous amount of people that I care deeply about. And that profound loss, despite the pain that comes from that, it teaches you to learn how to cope in life and do something about it. So I've been inspired by these people who I lost in life and by those who are fighting right now for their lives, those who have survived. The least I can do with this inspiration is give love and support and fight this disease with the collective of people. I had a bout with cancer myself, thyroid issue that a great doctor at Roswell treated me for. And fortunately, I didn't have to go through chemo, but I had to go through surgery. And I got great care at Roswell. And the least I can do is support that institution along with the other institutions involved. It charges me. When you give in life collectively, you feel like you're full of more life. And it's a very simple thing. It just takes energy and a positive spirit.
You talk about, obviously, all these people that have been affected that you are playing for and you're supporting. How about the support that you will be getting and have gotten from the community, your friend, your family showing up to watch? Like when you guys are going to play and start the very first shift, and there's going to be tons of people out there at RiverWorks, or even in the middle of the night when there's 5 people on the glass that are going to be there and cheering on you guys. How does that affect the mood and to know the support of the community?
It's everything. When people show up to root you on, even if your hockey's not good, you know, I have a saying, you know, I've been playing this for a while now, and I say to people, well, I'm good enough to be a disappointment at this game. So the guys will say, hey, Drew, I thought you could handle that pass, or, you know, come on, you're out of position, or you had an open net. What's going on there? Well, I'm good enough to get close, but not quite to finish. So I expect some of the hecklers in the crowd to give me a hard time, and that makes me laugh. That keeps my spirit high, and I need that. So criticism's a good thing, heckling's a good thing, or just people who root you on and say, come on, you got this, get out of your comfort zone, you'll be all right. It's everything for people to come and support us. It really is.
And we couldn't do this event without you, Andrew. Thank you so much. And good luck once again.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Go 11 days.
As mentioned, year 5 for this event. There have been changes every year. That's the beauty of it. And certainly no stranger to the event, but a rookie as it pertains to the Frozen 40. Morgan Haddock is with us. Morgan, tell us how you became so connected and involved in this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. So it's pretty personal for me. My first 11 day I signed up for was right after my dad got diagnosed for a second time, that we were told cancer came back. Unfortunately, he did not make it. He passed away in March of 2019. So my first one was in June of 2019 I played in, which was really emotional and such a great thing to play for him. And then last year's community shift during COVID, I had an all girls team that we played the floor hockey against. Yep. So it was such a great thing to be able to have Mike and Amy reach out to me and be like, hey, we really want to get some girls involved in this one. Throw in your application. So I was just more than ecstatic when I got that phone call on January 1st.
So you did play though, like hockey your whole like youth, and your dad was one of your coaches. So how first, like, where did you play, and how was that having your dad there and now being able to spend 11 days on the ice, being able to play for him?
Yeah, it's just such an amazing thing that like I'm able to still like carry on such a like a family tradition we have of hockey. I started really young. I played at Cas. I was like 10 years old on a 19U team. And then I went, we were like called the midget line. It was myself and Allie Gaswick and Megan Edwards, who Allie went on to play at Ohio State, which is just so cool to have like that kind of, but we were 10 years old playing on this 19U team. My name is still up there. We won this was back when girls hockey was called Giggle, Great Lake Girls Hockey League. I'm showing my age now. You guys said age before beauty, but now I'm showing how old I am. Girls playing now don't even know what that league is. Then I went on to play Buffalo Regals, and I played a few years at Buff State. And then I picked up coaching, which the team that I was coaching when I started getting involved in the 11-day really sparked my love for the hockey game again. So.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I was in conversation with your mom a fair amount when your dad was going through the his battle.
You sent us a hat.
Yes, and well, I mean, your family is just another example of just how courageous and confident and always aware of others, even when times are tough for you personally. So I'd love to know how your mom is doing, quite frankly.
She's doing good. She had her own little battle with some breast cancer issues right after my dad passed, but she is a clean bill of health, happy, healthy, loving her, just being able to spend, time with her children. We're all there all the time for her. She loves it.
And Molly and Luke are your cousins, correct?
They are, yes.
So Molly is like this with my youngest daughter. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they are my cousins from my dad's side. Molly is a very strong young woman.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And this is amazing though, Duffer, because like you didn't grow up here in Buffalo. You came here and started working with the Sabres, and you have these connections with the community that people don't even know. So that's amazing to me that you guys have got this connection that goes back a few years now with the families. Morgan, let me ask you this, like who will be showing up to support you? Like who do you think will be there, and who do you want to see on the side and be able to cheer for you.
That's how great this community is. I know anybody that I talk to on a daily basis has a day picked out that they're going to come. Everybody's got my schedule between coworkers and, you know, family and friends and girls that I've coached over the years. They all have a day that they're coming down. They're going to get dinner and watch me play, which is just, it's so great. Like how strong the hockey community is. Like it's amazing to see up here.
How much are you playing on a regular basis outside of this? Like, are you still like a once a week player or what?
Sometimes I skate with work sometimes, and then also I am on a senior women's team, and we actually made nationals the year of COVID, so we got invited back down this year. So we're starting to skate up again too.
Wow, that's fantastic. And take us through like the fundraising, because again, this Marty is the most I don't want to say overlooked, because we all see that big number when it's all said and done, but the big number doesn't come without every player that we're talking to here today. And in this instance, Morgan, like there is a lot of weight on each player in this to raise a lot of money. How did you do it, Morgan?
Yeah, so we had to raise, each player had like a minimum goal of 15,000 that we wanted to get for the original 40. The sponsorship was a big one. I'm sponsored by Squire. And that I got through my boyfriend's sister is now big in that company. So thankfully I was able to reach out to her and get that sponsorship. But the sponsorships were definitely a big thing, but also just sharing it on Facebook. It just shows how much people are affected by cancer, because I had literally over $10,000 just donated from friends I have on Facebook. And I haven't talked to some of them in years, but everybody is affected by cancer. And that's just some awful, but crazy thing to say, but it brings the community together as soon as you say that big scary C word.
Yeah, Morgan,
before you
wait,
just one second before you're prepared for this, what's the longest you had been on your skates and played? Like I remember playing days on the pond, but that was maybe 6, 7, 8 hours. What's the longest you had been on your skates before?
Probably about the same, you know, just as a kid being out skating. I like to think it's almost like a super long tournament. I'm trying to like hone in those skills, you know, when you were like 12 through 16 going to a tournament with like all of your friends and you had games back to back or like 4 hours apart. I'm really trying to channel that inner child in me who just was eating like absolute garbage and still was able to play. So
yeah, we all know the garbage that especially came from the concession stands in those.
Yeah, like the French fries between games, like that's absolute terrible nutrition. So
I feel like the French fries would have been just like an elite snack if that existed in my time. But yeah, Morgan, thanks again, and good luck, and obviously all the best to you and your family.
Thanks, guys.
Matt English is a rookie in this event, and I can only imagine. But I'm not going to verbalize what I'm thinking. I want to know what you're thinking, Matt. Like, I mean, what words is there fear? Is there trepidation? Is there excitement? Like, what's going on?
I think I got a little bit of everything. I don't know what to expect. I've tried to talk to all those old wily vets like Drew there and kind of pick their brains and, you know, find some little tricks to the trade that those guys did last time around. Cause I want to make sure that those 11 days go as smoothly as possible.
So what's the plan? Last time they did this, world record, Guinness World Record, they would do, I believe, was 4 hours on, and then they had 4 off, 4 on. Is that going to be the same schedule? Are you guys adjusting a few things? Do you know?
Yeah, there's a little bit of change. So what they're going to do is basically like that 4 on, 8 off, but there's a few days where you stay on 2 hours late to kind of help with the group behind you.
Okay.
There's days where you'll go on 2 hours early and still, again, help with the group before you, kind of help them wrap up.
Okay.
And then we all have to take one goalie shift, which I'm sure you'll appreciate, Marty.
Well, that was my next question. I mean, I remember seeing some of the guys coming off their 4-hour shift in goalie gear and be like completely shot, right? Like your body doesn't respond the same way. Is that one of the most difficult part you think will be to play goalie?
Yes. I'm trying to compile some cash here to pay off some people to play for me, I think.
Now, wait a minute. Didn't you grow up as a defenseman?
I did, yes.
Come on. Every good defenseman should relish the opportunity to block a few more shots, no?
Well, yeah, I've blocked a couple. I don't want to block all of them.
And are you gonna keep your player skates to play goal? Or are you gonna go in and play goalie skates?
As far as I know right now, I never even thought about it. So
Okay.
great question, Marty.
Or you want to be comfortable and you don't want to put somebody else's skates and then have blisters. Like that's the worst part of it. So comfort is first. Don't worry about the look. Let me just tell you this.
Or the save percentage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Matt. If we were to go to hockeydb.com and type in your name, there's some stats for you, right? Over the years, did you not touch minor pro at one point?
oh, I had a cup of coffee here and there. Yeah.
Tell us about those. I think it was a dozen games in a couple different leagues, and how you ended up getting there.
Yeah. Well, I finished up. I never even expected it, honestly. We got knocked out of the NCAA tournament. I packed my stuff up. Me and a bunch of my teammates were driving up to Montreal, and I got a phone call saying you need to be back because you're getting flown out to Texas to play down in Lubbock, middle of nowhere. So I was there. I was, Utah, California. I ended up down in Florida, played in the Southern League for a little bit, and that's quite the experience sitting on a bus for weeks on end, traveling from Texas to Ohio and back.
And that was coming out of SUNY Geneseo, right?
Correct. Yes.
I'm interested to find out. So I keep telling kids all the time, and this is a total different conversation, but some of them just want to play Division I, right? That's their big goal. But I keep saying like Division III hockey is great hockey with some great schools. So how was your road to playing at Geneseo?
So I grew up in, played at West Seneca. Played for the Niagara Scenic, which is now the Junior Sabres.
Yep.
I actually originally went to RIT and transferred over to Geneseo almost immediately. And, I was a small defenseman in a time when, Marty, you weren't that far in front of me. Like small defensemen were not a thing.
Yeah.
I skated the puck a lot. I was very offensive. And so I just thought, for me, I thought I'd take the opportunity to go somewhere where I would play a lot, experience, almost like what the Sabres are going through now, with like letting the younger kids play a ton and see every situation. And I just figured that would be the best for me, kind of see that. And that was my path there.
Well, Matt, last one for you. And honestly, one of the beautiful things in the evolution of this event has been the number of people that have got involved in every possible way. And speaking kind of selfishly, from the line of work that we're in, the video production and the coverage of it has grown so much and allowed every individual person like yourself and all our guests to tell their story. And, I think it really resonates with people when it comes to the fundraising aspect. Yes, a lot of people, but for people that don't know, when they hear your words, they might be more inclined to donate. And I have to say, from the videos that I've watched, Matt, you were very emotional in telling your story. And I'd love for you to share it with our audience again, if you could, just to really allow it to hit home for people, why this is so important.
Yeah, I'll do my best to do it this time without crying. But I had, my mother-in-law passed away about 10 years ago. She, it was a very aggressive form of cancer. By the time she was diagnosed, I don't even think it was 6 months. I also have a very good friend of mine, a coworker that is 28 years old, passed away at 28, just this past June. And just to see what they, not even just what they go through, but, their families and their friends and truly, and this is where I always end up getting choked up, like just to watch the devastation of my wife and her family, it was terrible to see. And so when this opportunity came along, I really just thought, man, if there is just anything I can do to give one more person that, that opportunity at life again, to give my friend Bo an opportunity to have a family himself, or, give my mother-in-law an opportunity to meet her grandchildren, which she didn't get to do. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here for. And that's, absolutely why I want to do this.
And I know there's a youngster too, and Owen Chase, right?
Yeah. Owen, I've coached Owen the last 3 years, and he's my daughter's age. And that was another one, man. Duff, it really hit home when, I coached him during his battle, and see him show up at the rink the day after getting treatment. It was amazing, you know, and I have my kids crying because they didn't want to wake up early. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, man, this kid, he's just a warrior. He's battling through it. And it was great. He's such an inspiration to me for this.
Amazing. Thank you again for sharing that. And everyone's a warrior in it. And we take this opportunity to celebrate you guys playing for them and to celebrate them in their battle. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Marty, as the saying goes on the 11-Day Power Play website, which is 11daypowerplay.com, that Buffalo fights cancer one shift at a time. Our shift for this week is winding down, but hard not to just take the inspiration of today into all the days that follow.
It's amazing the people you meet with hockey and the community that surrounds hockey. So I got to meet Alex Tuch for the first time at the 11-Day Power Play, and now I consider, well, he's in my phone, so I consider him like an acquaintance or something. And meeting 3 new people today that are going to be taking on that 11-day power play challenge. Amazing to know that the hockey community keeps growing and growing and growing, and it's doing it for the right cause.
You know, thinking back to Tuch taking part in it a couple of years ago, are you thinking of any other potential, celebrity sightings this time around?
Oh man, I don't know, but I'm gonna be making some phone calls. Let me tell you this. And really, to be honest with you, getting a call from Mike and Amy Lesakowski, I mean, you say yes right away. So they could call anybody. Like if I call them, they're gonna say, "I'm already not sure. I don't know." But then Mike and Amy, especially Amy, calls, and then you say yes already. So that's the way it works, right?
Yeah, honestly, so great today, just so inspiring. And we hope you take some of those words of inspiration with you in the days ahead. Best of luck to everybody involved in the 11-Day Power Play. Thanks for being with us on Instigators Overtime, presented by Seneca Resorts and Casinos.